SpaceX on the big loop. You have a go for hatch opening per the decal, followed by the remaining actions in procedure 4.400, section 6.
Big loop endurance copies go for hatch opening, and then the remainder of section 6, 4.400.
Good readback. We're monitoring here on the ground.
And great news with that go for hatch opening. We should be seeing the crew float aboard the International Space Station here shortly. They're working to open up the hatch on the Endurance side.
SpaceX Endurance, the hatch is open.
Copy, we see the same.
Dragon hatch is now open. And we can start to see the crew members inside Endurance. That hatch that we've been waiting for to open since 5:32 p.m. Central Time is now open. Hatch opening taking place just a couple of seconds ago. The hatch is open, but the Crew-3 astronauts will need to work through a few more steps before they can ingress the International Space Station.
We're complete with 4.400 on the big loop, ready for hatch crossing if you are.
That hatch opening occurring at 7:25 p.m. Central.
And Endurance, this is SpaceX on the big loop. You are go for hatch crossing.
And first through the hatch is going to be NASA astronaut Kayla Barron. Some hugs there, and you can hear the claps inside Mission Control. Next up is European Space Agency astronaut Matthias Maurer. And now we have NASA astronaut Tom Marshburn. And NASA astronaut Rajachari. Lots of hugs and smiles here. Seven crew members now a part of Expedition 66. And you can really see and feel the excitement by the looks on the crew's faces. Looks like they're posing for some photos now.
Welcome to Station Crew-3. You guys look great in that photo.
And if you're just now joining us, the Crew-3 astronauts have successfully docked and entered aboard the International Space Station. They launched yesterday at 8:03 p.m. Central Time and completed a 22-hour launch to docking to the International Space Station. Docking occurred this evening at 5:32 p.m. Central Time, and the hatch was opened just a few minutes ago at 7:25 p.m. Central Time. NASA astronaut Rajachari, Kayla Barron, and Tom Marshburn, as well as European Space Agency astronaut Matthias Maurer, have now successfully reached the International Space Station, and we see a pretty special moment happening right now for Kayla Barron, first-time space flyer, as she's being pinned as an official flown NASA astronaut. Next up is European Space Agency astronaut Tom Marshburn, also a first-time flyer. That is European Space Agency astronaut Matthias Maurer being pinned by NASA astronaut Tom Marshburn. Lots of smiles and thumbs up, an exciting moment. And the third first-time space flyer, commander of the SpaceX Endurance vehicle, Rajachari, getting his pin.
Houston Station on 2, checking for the timing of the PAO event.
Just about to hand over, Mark. I'll catch you on the other side.
And we're in a brief expected handover between our satellites, but we'll regain communications here shortly. Crew-3 has successfully arrived at the International Space Station after docking at 5:32 p.m. Central Time and floated inside the space station at 7:25 p.m. Central.
Station Houston on 2, other side of that handover. Looks like we're going to target top of the hour for the PAO event. Top of the hour, and for Mark, we'll go for the scene and voice check at your convenience whenever it works.
Okay, I'll call you back. I'll copy PAO event in about 26 minutes, and I'll do the scene and voice check shortly.
Copy that.
And Endurance crew, comm check with core here on Space to Ground 2. And Endurance crew, comm check with core here on Space to Ground 2.
And SpaceX, Endurance has you loud and clear on 2.
Hey, Raja, I just want to say that everyone here was clapping pretty hard as soon as we saw everybody cross the threshold there. A lot of smiles on our faces. But we do have a few more steps in procedure 2.102 if you're able to do that. Jump back into section 6. Our main one is going to be sealing up that LIO cube in section in that 2.102.
Yeah, we'll jump into section 6 and get working on the LIO.
And just for awareness, we're just looking to get that one done before the PAO event, before we hop back in at the top of the hour.
We're now targeting a welcome ceremony to begin at 8 p.m. Central Time this evening. If you're just joining us this evening, the Crew-3 astronauts have not only successfully docked to the International Space Station after launching at 8:03 p.m. Central Time yesterday from Launch Pad 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, but they've also floated through...
Installation complete. Go for IMV fan activation.
Houston copies. Thanks, Caleb.
Crew-3 successfully floated through the space station hatch at 7:25 p.m. Central Time. Following a dock at 5:32 p.m. Central Time. At this time, we're waiting on a welcoming ceremony to begin at 8 p.m. Central Time. The crew on board the International Space Station is going to complete a scene and voice check to make sure everything checks out on the ground before the welcoming ceremony takes place.
And Houston Endurance, just waiting on your go to open location 23.
We copy, standby 1.
Houston Station, I'm ready for the scene and voice checks.
Copy, Mark. We're ready for the voice, and for the scene, it looks like we're going to have to zoom out just a little bit, please. Zoom out a touch so we can get 7 folks in there. And Endurance, this is Houston on the big loop. Raja, your go for 6.1. Go to open location 23.
Big loop, we copy. We're going to open location 23 in Endurance.
Affirmative, 6.3. And then Houston for Mark, we're back with you and ready for the voice checks.
This is the voice check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And station for Mark, good scene, good voice. We're all set, ready to go, and we'll kick it off at the top of the hour. Copy, thumbs up.
And we had a successful scene and voice check. We're still targeting the welcoming ceremony to begin at 8 p.m. Central Time this evening. On your screen, you can see in the bottom right is NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hei. He did a lot of preparations ahead of hatch opening. To the left of him is Roscosmos cosmonaut Piotr Dubrov, as well as European Space Agency astronaut and member of Crew-3, who just arrived to the International Space Station, Tom Marshburn. Matthias Maurer. This is his first time in space. And to the right of him is the current space station commander, Roscosmos cosmonaut Anton Shkaplerov.
It is sealed and installed.
Copy all.
Houston Station on 2 concerning T2 harnesses.
Go ahead on 2.
Yeah, I put the harnesses for the Crew-3 folks next to T2 this morning, except I did not find the harness for Marshburn. Can you tell me where to find that?
And we're checking on that now. Not sure we're going to have an answer ASAP, but we're asking the question.
We got plenty of time. Just got to have it before his first T2 session.
Yep, thanks.
We're now just 15 minutes away from a welcoming ceremony. On your screen, you see veteran astronaut Tom Marshburn floating back through the hatch from the Endurance vehicle, which docked to the International Space Station at 5:30 p.m. Central Time this evening. And there's a view of it docked to the International Space Station. The crew on board is working on some final procedures to get everything squared away before the welcoming ceremony begins at 8 p.m. Central Time this evening.